All right, and in the studio with us to speak more about this is ANC Deputy Leader Captain Abdi Yare Mohammed, who is also an aspirant for the Garissa Township parliamentary seat. Many thanks for joining us here in studio, Captain.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
Right. Now, of course, this debate has been in the public eye for quite a while now. The allegations that Aden Duale was the one in that clip, allegations of incitement in Garissa town. And recently we've seen you, alongside the Wiper Deputy Leader Malim, also called on the government to take action against Duale, despite the fact that he denies being the one in that audio clip.
Well, very well, Michelle. First, I wish to take this early opportunity to reassure all Kenyans, and especially all communities living in Garissa County, that it is within their liberty, democracy, and freedom to live in any part of Kenya, and then not to be succumbed or scared by any pressure of incitement from any leadership. Our liberties and freedoms are enshrined within our constitution, and it is upon all government responsible agencies and the government of the day to ensure that all Kenyans enjoy as much freedom as they are entitled within the constitution. So for my brothers, the Kambas, the Kikuyus, and even the larger Somali communities living in Garissa and Northeastern, we reassure you our commitment as the leadership from the region that we are standing with you. You will be given all the necessary protections that you are entitled to, and it is your right to exercise your democratic rights, not only when it comes to voting. Notwithstanding that, Michelle, for sure, these utterances being denied by the majority party leader is very weighty national issue, and especially the moment and the time it is coming out from a leadership of his level. We are unable to really understand if it is a Jubilee policy that Duale is trying to disseminate at the grassroots, or it is an individual opinion. However, either way, it is bordering a serious crime of impunity, and the spreading of hate speech should be an issue that is picked up immediately, interrogated by the agencies. And up to now, the response we are getting from our able government, Jubilee government, particularly from Amani, I really very much respect the Minister of Interior, General Retired Ngele, a very wise, able leader, and a pastoralist, kind of an icon. Is like he is giving some counseling session to the youth by telling them don't allow to be recruited to cause mayhem. We should not address the youth per se, because wise men in English have always said the head wags the tail. We should address the head. The head should be cautioned. The head should be dealt with. The youth are vulnerable, and recruiting or inciting any group or any organization, or particularly the youth in this case, is unacceptable. So we are still putting a lot of pressure and humbly requesting the government to redress this issue and give it the concern it deserves. It is not an issue that we can dismiss under the table. It's not an issue we will make it appear like Duale is above the law, Captain is above the law, Farah is above the law. And it is also unfortunate the media, a very significant tool in disseminating information to the public, is also trying to narrow down the matter to an election contest between Duale, Farah, and the Captain.
What is the bigger issue?
No. The issue is about an individual, a leader of a very high hierarchy, from one of the top echelons of the current government leadership, publicly going, or presumably alleged to have gone publicly, and indicating that he is able to spread hate speech and impunity. I was in Garissa from 29th eve of the new year up to on 3rd, when all these meetings being alleged were happening. And the audios can be confirmed by the authority concerned and the agencies. They should not look for scapegoats and excuses, challenging us, can you produce genuine, authentic kind of evidences? It is upon the agencies, the Criminal Investigation Department, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, to pull up their acts and go investigate this matter. They have got all the tools. It is not upon captain to bring the names, the venue, the time, and the what, when, the 5 W's of investigation. It is upon the government agencies who are employed, deployed, and the commission to undertake this kind of an exercise. And we are telling them as leaders from the region, please don't treat this as a light matter. Yes.
Now, given the response we had with the Pangani 6, I'm sure you remember that, are you satisfied with the response by NCIC so far?
Absolutely no, absolutely no. I have worked with the old man, Honorable Francis Olakaparo. He was my speaker when I was his chief sergeant at arms. I am very sure and confident wherever he is now, he has mobilized his resources up to whatever level, and the investigations is going on. But the response we are seeing from all sides is like it is treated like an issue that is a routine and normal. We are normalizing impunity. And it's very unfortunate this is coming from a majority party leader, perhaps, like he puts it, a very seasoned politician. But my read on this is, could it be Duale is speaking his voice as Duale without the heart of the majority party leader? Or is he speaking as the majority leader on behalf of Jubilee government? What we also read is, could it be the early symptoms of political depression by one leadership, maybe who feels to be unpopular? Or is he getting some pressure from the so-called big powers that are maybe supervising him and directing him to an axis of to scare the common voter now that we are approaching the general elections? Either way, this matter is bordering genocide. It is a national and international crime when you profile a certain community or a certain group within the dynamics of our peaceful coexistence. We drive our unity from our diversity. Just to refresh my mind, my first headmaster about 40 years ago in some small, tiny school back in my village called Jaribu Primary School was one, I hope he's still alive, Siongo Musyoka. My English teacher was also Kitili. There was another teacher called also Musyoka Dero, meaning the tall Musyoka. 80% of those who checked out through our education system were Kambas, just because the Somali that time were not having the privilege of going through enrollments of colleges and these things. It is time we recognize and appreciate those who imparted knowledge to our young generation. But if the best gift, very unfortunately, Honorable Duale can give to Kenyans and especially people of Garissa County, I think my take is up to now, if action has not been taken, well, we are not threatening the government because we are leaders in our own ways. We will pursue other means, other legal means and avenues and platforms to deal with this matter. I would have expected Honorable Duale to come out like a leader at his level, like he claims he is the third person in Kenya, which he is not, to apologize as he is denying this, whether he did it or not, because it is touching on his...
Apologize for the fact that the words were said.
It's touching on him. So he would have come out and instantly apologize first and say, look here, I'm not that kind of a leader. But when these things are leveled against you, be it allegations, be it political propaganda, first you have to come out within the principles of leadership, within the traits of leadership, within the qualities of good leadership. These are the aspects of a great leader. So if you don't come out and say, hey, look here, this is total shame, this is not me, they are painting me in a different scenario and picture, I take this early opportunity first to say, I am very, very sorry, and it is not me. However, I challenge anybody with tangible evidence to prove it. But when he comes out, and I think he has got a very short memory, forgetting that in Isli he said, if anybody wants to bomb, that is the so-called clandestine groups and the gangs and the terror, our common enemies. If they have to bomb anywhere, they should not do it in Isli and in our mosques and in our madrasas, and he gave them the geographical locations of his wish, maybe perhaps where they can bomb. Go to Machakos and do it there. I think those are very serious kind of utterances. When you look to be mapping out regions for the enemy, where he should execute his clandestine activities, this is your wishful thinking. And today, Michelle, if my very good friend, father of the nation, the current president of our country, a great man I really respect, utters any word, that is legal policy of the government. So I know, like a father even in my family, there are things I consider to say and how to say and when to say. There are things I talk in the bedroom with mama. There are things I talk when we are having coffee or tea with the whole family. There are things I talk when I have got visitors from the neighborhood. There are things I say when I am with the family. Like the famous Kenny Rogers music goes by, know when to hold, know when to say, know when to run. And I expect Duale, like he puts himself and glorifies his position in the government, who would have gone through the paces for the last 10 years.
Right.
If I were elected 2 consecutive times as the MP Garissa Township, and I were appointed the first majority party leader of this independent Kenya under the dispensation of the new political constitution, believe you, Michelle, today I would have resigned honorably. I would not have gone down the history to be dragged down on mud, whether it is allegations or it is what I said.
Right.
And I would not have allowed any iota of suspicion that I am preaching hate, I am preaching division, I am inciting youth. I will not have allowed that to touch any part of my skin.
Right.
It is very unfortunate, and the response from the government should not be selective. Like you said, the famous or the infamous 6 Pangani were arrested and held in Comunicado within so many locations was a very good thing.
Right.
That message I had sung. We also don't want a situation like what we are having about the great lady, Honorable Millie Odhiambo, coming out and insulting the institution of the presidency.
Right.
Whether it is Captain who is president today or Michelle who is the president, we are not talking of the individual, we are talking of the institutions. We must have respect for the institution, and in this case of Duale, it is a total shame. A total shame and shame and shame to the parliament institution, to the legislative arm of this government. If it is leader can speak like this, and many of them are keeping quiet because he is not mentioned a Kikuyu, he is not mentioned a Kalenjin from Eldoret, then we are saying no to Duale, we are saying no to president, and we expect the principal and the co-principal, His Excellency, my brother, Uhuru Kenyatta, and his deputy, William Samoei Ruto, to come and speak out immediately on this matter and reassure all Kenyans that that was an individual who has gone across board, suffering from the early symptoms of political depression, and it is not a Jubilee manifesto.
And you keep mentioning that this is not about politics, this is about an individual. Let's not remember that not too long ago, he did make a promise that he would release a list of names of Al-Shabaab sympathizers in the region, something that he has not done yet. What are your thoughts of the same?
My thoughts is, by now, I think General Gaisere will have had this man recording so many statements, and he should have been under arrest because he has taken leverage of getting away with the earlier utterances, including promising Kenyans he is going to give us the list of top Al-Shabaab leaders. I feel a lot of pain. It is hurting. We have not yet healed. When our sisters and brothers, innocent children, seeking knowledge, were massacred in the University of Garissa, hardly even the families have settled down, have conceptualized, have accepted, have taken that pain. Duale comes and promises us he's going to give us the list of those people and the top leaders of Al-Shabaab. And up to now, nobody has challenged him. Up to now, nobody has followed him up. But I can assure you, Michelle here, and I'm assuring all Kenyans, no crime is old. No crime is old.
So time is still right.
One day, we will bring Duale to confirm all this. And particularly this time round, if ANC takes over power, peacefully from Jubilee government. If NASA comes to power, we will deal with all these crimes, because these are crimes. This is not Hollywood movie or acting. These are aspects that are touching on the security of our nation. This is an attack. This is an attack on our nation. Americans are saying, McCain has just said, the so-called cyber attack by Russia is an attack on America, just imagine. But when a leader of his level, Honorable Duale, speaks out so many times, and let me assure you one thing, he was in Garissa before that. The clips are available when he is saying Garissa town will be liberated from those who are in power now and the others. It is on record. He is speaking in Somali vernacular. We kept silent on this because we didn't want to be seen like the dynamics apply there, that part of us are supporting so-and-so or supporting so-and-so. But it has reached a time now we cannot take it anymore. He is on record saying Uhuru Kenyatta is his cousin. He is on record hosting principal leadership of this country who are on state official visit to Garissa in his own private residence.
Right.
My God, what are you telling me? Principal leadership of this country hosted in Duale's private residence overnight. And he picks, selects at which who will visit them, who will dine with them, who will sit with them, who will discuss development agenda. I think he has taken too much, too far. And the leadership seems to be encouraging this. The last tour of the deputy president, I can go on record here and now, he spent the night in Duale's private residence. Some of us, even in the opposition, wanted to have a courtesy call to meet the deputy president. But unfortunately, we said we cannot go, with all due respect, to an individual leader or political opponent, maybe, if I may wish to consider that, residence and meet the deputy president of this country. So we are unable to separate the official aspect and operations of this government from Duale domestic irons. Because when you hold a leadership of that level in your own private residence, not forgetting there is a government state lodge. When His Excellency, the President of this nation, Uhuru Kenyatta, visited Garissa his last time, and he commissioned the national grid, he spent in the regional commissioner's state lodge residence. Honorable Ruto spent in Duale's residence, private residence. There are so many five-star hotels in Garissa. They are government official residence in the name of government guest house. So when you don't separate official national matters, official national policies from individual domestic matters, I think we will be trending very dangerously. We will be encouraging some kind of civility, and we will degrade the glory of our institutions, and we will encourage too much friendliness, where the president will look like he's a buddy of Duale, the deputy president looks he's a buddy of Duale, and many of us will sit back and say, come on, what is this? We are unable to separate the roles. And this is what has encouraged Duale to do all these things. It is very unfortunate. He rushed to the CID. I don't know whether he recorded a statement, and I dare and challenge him today. We are Muslims, and he seems to be very seriously practicing Muslim the way he dresses of late with a kofia. If he can come out and go to the Qadi office and in public, swear by the Holy Quran, touch it, hold it up and say, I swear by the Holy Quran and in the name of thy Lord, that it is not me, Duale, who said this. I think we will allow him to go away with it within 14 days, because we are assured that if any Muslim who believes in the Holy Quran does that, then we wait and watch that befalls on him. In the Quran, there is a very clear verse that tells us, Allah tells us, we have created you from a single pair of male and female, and they divided you into nations and tribes, so that ye may know each other. The best among you is that who is close to Allah. God has already told us we are all equal in His eyes. We are divided into tribes and nations. So this dynamics is spiritual. It is nature. You can't challenge it. You can't say, I can't live with Michelle. I can't go to school with Michelle. I don't know if he's encouraging apartheid racism, discrimination, but above all, I see he's becoming a warlord, which is very dangerous.
Captain Yare.
He's becoming a warlord.
Right, and of course, let's not forget that the fact that you are looking to unseat Duale as Garissa Town Member of Parliament. What would you do differently?
For sure, my interest is not only about unseating Duale and becoming, God willing, the next Member of Parliament come 2017 for Garissa Township, but I want to confirm some of us are way above that small shanty town of ours, Garissa, sorry, but that great town of ours in Garissa. We want to cut our notch in national politics. And if this is the best we can display now, it is very unfortunate it is touching on our personality and the leadership qualities. So we want to have a Somali president, no matter the numbers. We want to have a Somali deputy president, no matter the numbers. We had a powerful Somali PC, respected all over up to today, Honorable Haji, our Sultan, a great old man, who we all recognize and respect up to now. May God give him long life. We had a very powerful general, General Mohammed, a man who sacrificed his life, who put his life on the land to save this nation in the infamous 82 coup. We still respect him. May God give him long life. This is the kind of a leadership, crop, and legacy we want to build on. But I think all this is being destroyed. The hard labor these old men tried to build the profile of the Somali quality of leadership is being soiled, destroyed, and kicked out by Aden Duale. So I am contesting in Garissa Township, and like I told you, what we are witnessing is frustration and political depression, early political depression by Duale, who is feeling to be isolated, I think even at the national level, because of him pushing things the way he wants, intimidating everybody, including the judicial arm of the government, that he is going to censure and motion the Chief Justice and Judge Oduma if they don't go his way. We are telling Duale, it is not about your way. It is about the way of law, the rule of law. It is about the Constitution. It is about respect for every Kenyan. It is about respect for integrity. It is about the fundamental principles of leadership, integrity, and the qualities of a good leader. For God's sake, Mr. Duale, apologize to the Somali community and leaders, and apologize to Kenyans, and particularly the Kambas, and tell them you are very sorry whether you said it or not, and encourage free and fair investigations to be conducted. I was in school with Duale from primary 1 to 7. Lucky me, I went to the Garissa primary school. He went to a missionary school, which I respect very much. He is from a humble beginning. Let him not be carried by power. Let him not be drunk by power. We have seen so many great leaders coming from humble beginning and in a big way. A good example is the historical Chief Mirambo. Like any other great leader, was from a humble beginning, and he controlled the triangular trade. So Duale, one day at a time, you will make it there. But this way, very unfortunate, you are not making it. It's not the way to go.
All right. Now, you said something very interesting when we began this conversation, that when ANC takes over power from the Jubilee government under the newly established National Super Alliance, and some of these things will probably change. So let's talk about that. ANC, what kind of shift are we likely to see in the opposition politics now, especially with Musalia Mudavadi being coronated as the Luya Kingpin?
First, I wish to congratulate my party leader, His Excellency Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, a former deputy president or a vice president by then of second president of our country, Mzee Moi, a wise old man and a long-term president of our nation, for being appointed the Luya flag bearer, the Luya nation flag bearer, and the Luya spokesman. Congratulations, Excellency Musalia Mudavadi, and I have no doubt you measure up to the task. Secondly, ANC is the only party so far that has a policy paper that contains our manifesto, our ideology, and our leadership policies. And as suggested by our name, Amani, we are Amani. We are for peace. We are peace-loving. We are for all Kenyans. Assalamu alaikum means may peace be upon him. Salamu sana means peace. So like even the president was saying, tunataka amani. I am very sure Wakenya wote wanataka amani. Na amani ni Musalia Mudavadi na ni ANC. So we have seriously did our political program in phases that started with the endorsement by the National Governing Council about 1 month ago of our party leader to be our presidential ANC presidential flag bearer. That one we are done with it. We are waiting for the National Delegates Conference to formalize and endorse him also.
Right.
Then hardly a week ago, 31st, end of the new year, the Luya leadership, the respected Luya nation, the respected elders and other setups of the Luya tradition leaderships have endorsed Musalia Mudavadi as their de facto flag bearer.
Right.
Many will want to make this look controversial and challenge it, but all good things are subject to dissent. And we allow dissent because maybe one had been nurturing some kind of ambitions, and he feels, why is it not me? But generally, I think it was a popular endorsement, and we wish him all the best. Now, our second phase is we have given him the mandate to go and negotiate with like-minded kind of outfits, political outfits, including CORD, the Honorable Right Prime Minister Odinga.
That's the bigger question on the minds of many Kenyans just before we wind up, because many Kenyans seem to think there's wrangles within the opposition. All the three CORD principals want to be the flag bearer and now include ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi also adding to that equation. What is going on really? Is there a wrangle as everybody thinks?
Michelle, I can assure Kenyans there are no wrangles. And it is not the first time that like-minded leaders come together and they decide one of them will be their flag bearer. The contenders and the principals we are talking about have all got this kind of an experience one time or the other in their political career. It starts with Honorable Raila Omolo Odinga, who said Kibaki Tosha. It goes way back to Kalonzo Musyoka, who last time said Raila Tosha and he was running mate. It goes way back to Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, who said Uhuru Tosha in the first time of Uhuru presidency, and the second time he did it for Raila. So these are leaders, one time or the other, who have done this. And coming together is our beginning. Keeping together is our strength. And working together is our success. We believe in this fundamental say that we are coming together now. It is our beginning and a good beginning for this nation. Keeping together is a challenge, of course, but it is our strength. Many will wish we disintegrate and we don't come together. Well, it is politics. Then working together like we want to do very soon by end of February, one of them, you will see the smoke through the white smoke through the chimney. And it is not that they are not agreeing. We are still having the technical teams, as even I'm talking to you now, working, burning the midnight oil. And we are encouraged on the way forward. And for sure, definitely, NASA is for real, and the NASA will have one flag bearer, and they all measure up to the task equally. There is no one among them who is more senior, more better, more considered than the other one. It is about Kenyans changing democratically their government from the tyranny of Jubilee. Because tyranny is impunity, I can say. When you talk of tyranny, tyranny means domination. Tyranny means manipulation. Tyranny means majority ruling the way they want and the minority being depressed. Tyranny is not within democracy. And if I go to this perception created by the political divide of Kenya, it's very unfortunate we will have not called ourselves opposition and government. Once leadership is elected, no matter whether you lose or you win, and you come to the August House, I think there is no opposition per se, because I see the 300 and plus members of parliament believe, those who are in court believe opposition is to oppose everything good from the Jubilee side. I think we better start calling them by other good names in English, like the alternative government, because I see some new leaders, coming up leaders whom I respect, believing fundamentally that we are opposition and we must oppose everything. And we must always be against. When you talk of an opposition, you are already encouraging rebellious kind of an attitude in our country. So I will request the leadership and the speakers now to start considering using mild, friendly names and terminologies to describe the alternative government.
Right, and not the opposition.
Not the opposition.
All right. All right, thank you so much, Captain Abdi Yare Mohammed. There he is, NC's party deputy leader and also an aspirant for the Garissa Township parliamentary seat here in studio, speaking to us about the video that has caused furor on social media with allegations that National Assembly Majority Leader Aden Duale has allegations of ethnic hate speech against the Kamba community. And that brings us to a close here on Weekend Express. We thank you for watching. My name is Michelle Ngele. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing.